Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Today we are going to do a yoga for good posture, or to maintain your posture or improve your posture. So we're going to focus a lot on the shoulders, we're going to focus a lot on the head placement, and mainly around the spine, of course, the spine being your support structure and also where we find lots of mobility. So let's see if Finn will behave himself in this flow. And I'd like us to start this actually lying down. So when you lie down, take your feet out about as wide as the mat and bring your knees into touch. So feet wide, knees narrow, and lie the head back. This is going to be the test for the dog. Good job. Now you can place your hands wherever you want, maybe on your belly or by your sides. And just give yourself a moment to close the eyes and just feel the ground beneath the head and the shoulders and the base of the spine with your feet wider here and your knees together. We've got a little bit of internal rotation occurring in the upper thighs. And what that might do and what you might be experiencing is a bit more space in the lower back, in the lumbar spine. So just give yourself a moment to settle here. Tap into your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And a big sigh out through your mouth. And again, inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. I generally do advise, if someone's feeling any lower back pain or any sciatica pain, to come into this position to create a little bit more space in the lower back, less compression. And he's off. A few more breaths where you are. And start to then change the position of the feet. So heel toe the feet closer together. Separate the knees slightly. Arms down by your sides. Tuck your chin so it's very slightly closer to your chest. And then engage your glutes, reach the hands towards your heels, tuck your tailbone under and lift the hips up towards the sky. So we just come into a bridge position. And then lower the hips back down. We'll take it twice more. Imagine you're holding a brick in between your thighs. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips down. One more time, inhale, lift the hips down, press down through the heel bones, push back through the shoulders and the back of the head. And then exhale, lower your hips to the floor. Now hug your knees in towards your chest. Cross the ankles. And then start to rock up and down, up to your sit bones, and then back over to your shoulders again a few times. Rock up to your sit bones, find a moment that maybe you can hover, and then rock back. One more time. Inhale, cross up. Now hold this here. Cross the ankles if you haven't done so already, and hug the heels a bit closer in towards your bum. Now as you drop your shins down, reach the hands out in front of you and push forward onto your knees. Then step one foot back at a time and come into downward facing dog. Bend your knees, claw your fingers into the ground, tilt the tailbone up towards the sky, drop your head through the arms. Then slowly ripple down so that you're on your hands and your knees, all fours position. Adjust the hands and knees, tuck the toes, point the feet, it's really up to you, and start to move straight away into a cat-cow. Arch the spine, lift your head and the tailbone, drop the belly down. Exhale, curve the spine. And then just keep this moving for a few breaths. There are some other classes that I have on my YouTube that I would say definitely would support this, support sort of good posture. I've got one with finding strength with a brick, which is really great. A lot of work with the brick in between the thighs, so check that one out. And there's one for yoga for back pain, which is also really good, particularly if you do have any sciatic pain, maybe scoliosis, anything that causes you any issues in your back. And as you're here, roll the shoulders left to right, hips also round in a circle. You can kind of experiment a little bit here. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, curve the spine or draw some little circles. And there's one more class that I would recommend, which is mobility, stability, and flexibility. So the difference between all three of those things and how they need to work together to really find this optimum health, optimum range of motion. And then when you're ready, start to bring yourself back onto your heels. Keep your toes tucked. And we're going to take a moment in what we call a toe squat. I like to also call this fire toes. So we want to find some mobility in the feet. So often with our posture, if we're standing up, then what's connecting us through the ground is from the soles of the feet. And if there's less mobility in the feet, then very often we're not really setting ourselves up for success in the best way. So make sure that you've got this mobility through the toes. And I know it can feel a bit uncomfortable at times, particularly if we wear shoes all the time. Hands onto your thighs. And I want you to now really focus on the placement of your head. Drop your chin slightly. And can you push the head back a tiny amount? So almost to generate a bit of a double chin. Not to the point that you can't breathe, but this is where we want to have our head most of the time. And our gaze literally just goes beyond the horizon. So if the chin is all the way up and the head tilts up and back, then we may be compressing the cervical spine, the neck bones. So drop your chin slightly to create more length in the back of the neck. And by taking the focus away from the toes, it means we can be here for a little bit longer. Take one more big breath in, shoulders wrapped back, collarbones nice and broad. And then exhale, walk your hands forward, point your toes and just patter out your feet. So we bring in a little bit more blood to the toes. Then when you're ready, come up into downward facing dog. Tailbone high, claw down your fingertips, pedal out your heels now one at a time. After that little toe squat, you may really feel that's the most natural thing for you to do. Bring in some mobility to the ankles. And then start to walk your feet up towards your hands and your hands back towards your feet. So we're in more of a forward fold. You can have your feet about hip width apart, little bend in your knees. You can sway forward and back or side to side. And maybe your hands need to come onto your ankles, your feet, if reaching for the floor doesn't quite happen today. Now we're going to come up into Ardha Uttanasana, which is your halfway forward fold. Everyone slide your hands up to your shin bones and pull the crown of your head forward. Tiny bend in your knees and think tabletop spine. Exhale, belly towards your thighs, relax over. And repeat that twice more. Hands onto your shin bones. Inhale, pull out and forward through the crown of the head. Try and squeeze the shoulders back as you lift the chest. Exhale, belly to your thighs, relax. One more time. Inhale, come up halfway, lift. And then exhale, come all the way up to standing. Inhale, arms up over the head. And then arms down by your sides. As we come into what we call Tadasana, your mountain pose. Give your feet a little bit of a wiggle, shake out the ankles, roll the shoulders. So before we go anywhere else, we're going to just take it into a little bit of a balance. So I want you to shift the weight onto your left leg and bring your right knee out in front of you. As you do this, can you reach the left arm, so we're going for opposition, out in front of you and the right arm back. And you can slightly twist to the right. We're going to stay balancing on the left leg. Slide your right leg back behind you. Arms kind of really move in opposition. And as you kick the right foot behind you, reach the right arm out in front of you and the left arm back. Weight on the left leg and then switch. Right knee out in front of you, twist to the right. Find that opposition with your arms. Exhale, kick your right leg back behind you. Slight bend in the supporting knee as you tip forward. One more time, inhale, come back up to center, twist to the right. Exhale, kick your right leg back. Now this time as you come back up to center, interlace your fingers around the right knee and shin. Hug the right knee up and squeeze the shoulders back. Now think about the placement of the head that you did when you were in a toe squat. Drop the chin down, push the head back. Chest forward, broaden out the collarbones. And then exhale, lower the right foot down straight away, shift the weight onto the right leg, and bend the left knee up towards you. Right arm out in front of you, left arm back. Flex the left foot and start to twist to the left. Exhale, kick your left leg back behind you, tip forward. Left arm reaches forward, right arm goes back. And switch. Now, do not worry if you have to go really slow here, or if you need to place your hand onto something to find a little bit more stability. Kick the left leg back behind you. One more time. Inhale, left leg forward. Twist to the left. Exhale, take it back. This time, bring your left knee out in front of you. Interlace your fingers around your left knee and shin. Hug it up towards your chest. Roll the shoulders back, chest forward. Breathe in. Exhale, lower the left foot down. Now inhale, reach the arms over the head. Now interlace your fingers behind your head. Open out the elbows, push the head into the hands, and exhale, tip forward about halfway. Now, as you tip forward halfway, you are resisting this. You're pushing the head into the hands. Inhale, come back up to center. Twice more. Exhale, push the bum back, tip the torso forward. Elbows wide. Inhale, back up to center. Last one, exhale, tip forward. Hold that there. Add a tiny, tiny little pulse, up an inch and down an inch. Keep the knees slightly bent. Think tabletop in your spine, open chest, broad collarbones. And then slowly bring your hands to the floor. Step the feet behind you. Come into high plank. Now, zip the legs together and high plank. If you need to lower the knees, then that's totally fine. We're going to take some time here. Claw out your fingertips. Claw them into the floor. And as you inhale, protract through the shoulder blades. Now, protraction is when you try and separate the space between the shoulder blades and you sort of dome the upper back. To retract the shoulders without bending the elbows, can you drop your chest and try and wing the shoulder blades together? Push away. Inhale, retract. Protract. Exhale, retract. Don't want to confuse you. Inhale, protraction. Push the ground away. Exhale, retraction. Sink the chest down. One more time. Inhale, protract. Good old shake that's happening with me. Exhale, retract. Now find somewhere in between the two. Hold that there. Hover the left hand off the floor and switch. Left hand down, hover the right hand off the floor. So you can be doing this with your knees down if you need to. And again, hover the left hand off the floor, press. To center, hover the right hand off the floor. To center. If you're in that high plank without the knees on the floor, lift your left leg up. Lower the left foot down. Lift the right leg up. So it's really about trying not to change too much when we take 1 point of contact away. And switch and switch. Now you can keep going. Or hover the left hand and the right foot off the ground and switch. You never know what's going to happen. Find a focus point. One more time, switch each side. Center. And building up core strength is brilliant for your posture. Lower your knees down, sit your bum to your heels. Take a child's pose, reach the arms out in front of you and rise up onto your fingertips so that this is a slightly more active child's pose. Lower the chin or the forehead down to the floor. Press down through your fingertips and exhale through the mouth. And stay here, just take a few more breaths where you are. So do focus on strength when it comes to posture. If you feel that you're sinking into certain areas where there's actually tends to be hardly any strength there. So pulling back a little bit can be really, really beneficial. If you think you need to lower the knees and do a couple more reps with whatever you're doing, or lower the weight and increase the reps, then great. You have to adapt, is basically what I'm saying. Otherwise, we can keep on going. When we're feeling a little bit injured at times or a little bit weaker, focus on your strength. And then when you're ready, start to bring yourself forward onto your belly. And as you come down onto your belly, we're going to come into a pose called Shalabhasana, which is excellent for your spine. Point your toes. You can separate the legs. For me here, interlace your fingers above your bum. Squeeze your shoulders back and lift your chest. Now, if you're sat at a desk a lot or your shoulders tend to round forward, this is what you need. Squeeze the shoulders back, lift the chest, point the toes, activate the glutes. And then start to look over your left shoulder. Squeeze the left shoulder back and switch that to the other side. So you kind of tip over to the left as you look over your right shoulder, hug it back. And bring yourself back to center. Reach the arms out in front of you, press down through your fingertips right out in front of you. And maybe with the power from the fingertips, you can lift your chest and your ribs off the floor. Up to you if you lift your feet. Point the toes, active in the glutes, breathe in. And breathe out. Now lower down your left forearm. So I've got my left forearm parallel with the top edge of the mat. And you can bring it slightly further underneath you if that doesn't cause you any pain in your lower back. Now you can either keep your right hand out in front of you and press the ground away, or maybe bend your left knee and perhaps reach for the left foot with your right hand. Now if you have this, we're working in opposition, kick the foot into the hand, chest forward, engage the glutes, point the toes. And you can kind of play around with bending your right elbow to hug your heel a bit closer in towards your bum to get a thigh stretch. And then pushing the foot into the hand to create a little bit more strength. So you can play around with those two. So you don't have to take the thigh stretch. You don't have to take this slight twist. And then switch it to the other side. You may just want to stay with your right forearm on the floor and the left hand out in front of you. Or bend the right knee, catch the right foot with your left hand, stabilize the pose first, push, and then if you want to go for the stretch, bend, and then press, bend, and then press. One more time if you're going for it. And then bring yourself down. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Take it back into downward facing dog. We're going to go into a little flow. So a lot of that was very much a warm up. Lift the tailbone up towards the sky. Drop the head through the arms and inhale. Lift your right leg up to the sky. Doesn't matter how high. Press the ground away and notice where you feel this the most. For me, I feel it the most in the back of the left leg. So it's a moment for the left hamstring. Exhale, step the right foot through between your hands. Doesn't matter how many times you need to step the foot forward to bring it in between the hands. Then inhale, reach the arms up over the head, rise up into a high lunge. Press down through your big toe mounds, engage through the legs. And then exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. And take a few breaths here. If when you breathe, it helps you to kind of pulse the movement as well, then you can pulse the knees up and down. Plant your back heel into the floor. Come into warrior two. As your back heel pulls down, your hips are going to open into the middle of the room. You're welcome to adjust your feet, the stance, the hips. Maybe bring your hands onto your hips and play around with the tilts of your pelvis, anterior and posterior tilt. And then you find somewhere in between those 2 points. Open the arms out, breathe in. And then exhale, interlace your fingers and place the hands behind the head like you did before when you were standing up. For me here, push the head into the hand, drop your chin down slightly, and tip the right elbow over to your right thigh. So now we work a little bit of strength in the obliques, the side of the body. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, tilt the other direction, left elbow towards your left thigh. Inhale, back up. And again, exhale, right elbow to right thigh. Inhale, back up to center, left elbow to left thigh. Now come back to center, bring your hands in front of your chest, back into that little prayer. And pivot back up onto your left tiptoe. So you square your hips and your chest towards the front of the room. Interlace your fingers behind you. Squeeze the shoulders back and slide your fist down the left butt cheek, maybe down to the left thigh. And then exhale, bow forward. Right shoulder towards your inner right thigh and knee. Humble warrior. Arms reach up over the head and look towards your back foot. Press down through your big toe mounds. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. I know it can be a bit wobbly. Inhale. Exhale, release the hands if you've not done so already. Left hand comes to the floor. Circle the right arm all the way up and around. Easy twist. Now repeat that same easy twist. What we can do here is when we circle the right arm around, you're welcome to slide onto the outer edges of both of your feet. Now flex the feet and maybe the hips can drop down a centimeter. And then inhale, press the hips back up. We're going to turn in to face the middle of the room. Right hand to the inside of your right foot. Option to flex the back foot and reach the left arm up over the head. Now, it doesn't matter if this right heel is on the floor or if you need to rise up. And repeat that. Left hand down. Easy twist. Option to slide onto the outer edges of the feet and tap the hips down maybe a tiny bit lower. Inhale, press the hips up, turn in to face the middle of the room. Side lunge, Skandasana. Final time, left hand down. Circle the right arm up and around, slide onto the outer edges of the feet. We're trying to get into the connective tissue around the outsides of the glutes. Final time to your Skandasana, side lunge. Now, stay here in your Skandasana, or some people may want to completely lower their bum all the way to the floor. So don't worry if this isn't for you. If you are going to go with your bum down, take your left forearm on the floor, doesn't matter where it's kind of pointing, and reach the right arm over the left leg. Little side stretch. This is an option, otherwise stay exactly as you are. Now, if you've gone down onto your bum, come back to center, hands together, and try and push forward. You might need a little bit of an oomph to come back into your side lunge. Everybody, try and slowly lift up and turn both of your feet in to face the middle of the room. That's going to require a little bit of strength from the legs and the glutes. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Interlace your fingers behind the head, open up the elbows, push the head into the hands. And then exhale, tip forward halfway. Tiny bend in the knees. As you tip forward halfway, your bum goes back. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, again down halfway. Elbows wide. Inhale, come back up. Last one, exhale down halfway. Reach the arms out in front of you. Take the arms out wide to the side. Keep the chest open. Interlace your fingers behind you. Squeeze the shoulders back, and then you can take a forward fold from here, a little bit deeper. There's no limit to how much you may need to bend the knees, so bend them. And maybe those arms can go all the way to the floor, who knows? Gently rise all the way back up. Once you come to the top, release your hands. Pivot your right toes forward. Pivot up onto your back tiptoe. Inhale, reach the arms over the head, high lunge. Exhale, bow forward, bring your hands to the floor, step the right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's ripple forward into high plank. Articulate your spine. And then exhale, ripple back, downward facing dog. Take that ripple twice more. Inhale, rise up onto your tiptoe, ripple forward. Now notice when you come forward into that high plank, you're in protraction of your upper back. And then exhale, there's a slight retraction as you go back into downward facing dog. And again, inhale, come forward. Exhale, ripple back. To the other side, inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky. Doesn't matter how high it goes, notice the feeling. Where do you feel it? Step the left foot through between your hands. Ground down through your big toe mounds. Inhale, scoop the arms up over the head, high lunge. Hands together in front of your heart, and you're welcome to pulse your knees here. So finding posture is really all about a mixture of strength and mobility, of that sort of solid grounding and enough to be also open, that you're not really, really stiff and holding tension all the time. So there's that perfect Goldilocks, sort of not too much, not too little. Open out into warrior two. Plant the right heel down, bend and straighten the left knee, pulse the knee up and down. And then inhale, reach the arms up over the head, interlace your fingers behind you, open up the elbows and hold it here. Inhale to center, push the head into the hands. Exhale, tip your left elbow towards your left thigh. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, right elbow to right thigh. Inhale, center. Exhale, left elbow to left thigh. Inhale, center. Exhale, right elbow to right thigh. Back up to center. Slowly release the arms. Pivot up onto your back tiptoe. Turn again to face the middle of the room. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. We're going to take it into a humble warrior. Squeeze the shoulders back. Now really press down through your big toe mounds and let the left shoulder drop down to the inside of your left thigh. Relax your head. Reach the arms up and over the head. Look towards the back of the mat. And take a couple of breaths here. I know it can be wobbly, so really press down through the big toe mounds. And then release your hands. Eventually, right hand to the floor. We'll go easy twist. Circle the left arm all the way up and around. Twist to the left. Left hand down. And then twist over to the left. Option to slide onto the outer edges of your feet. Tap the hips down slightly. Inhale, press the hips up. Turn in to face the middle of the room. So I'm going to turn to face my back to you. Left hand is down. Flex the back foot. Right arm over the head, Skandasana. And switch. Right hand down. Left arm circles up and around. Option to slide onto the outer edges of the feet. Tap the hips down. Let's get a good stretch there. Back into your side lunge. Left hand down. Flex the right foot. Right arm over the head. Breathe in. Final time, right hand down. Doesn't matter which direction you circle your arms, by the way. So don't worry about the small stuff like that. Left hand down to the inside of your left leg. Now you can hold it here in your Skandasana. Or you can lower your bum straight down to the floor. Right hand down by your side. Left arm over the head. Tilt to the right. If you've gone for this stretch, bring it back into center. Press yourself forward, and then everybody straighten up both of the legs, turn both the feet in to face the middle of the room, hands behind the head, and adjust the feet if you need to. I'm going to turn side on so you can see the side of me. Push the head into the hands, tiny bend in the knees. Exhale, push the bum back, tip the torso forward. And again, inhale, come back up. So super strong down the spine. Exhale, tip forward halfway. Inhale, come back up. Last one, exhale, come down about halfway, hold it there and reach the arms out in front of you. Then start to open the arms out to the side. As you do that, interlace your fingers behind you. Squeeze the shoulders back and then let your chest go down a little bit further. Arms reach up over the head. Look through the thighs. Totally fine to bend the knees more. Little sway from side to side. Are you holding the breath? Let it go. And then release the hands. Inhale, come all the way back up. Once you get to the top, turn the left toes out. Pivot up onto your back tiptoe, back into your lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, bow forward, lower the hands down and step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Let's ripple. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, ripple back, downward facing dog. Twice more. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Last one. Inhale, come forward. This time, exhale, lower your knees to the floor. Find all fours position. And then inhale, reach the right arm up towards the sky. We'll go for a quick thread of the needle. Exhale, thread basically the right arm, the thread, through the gap of the left arm, the needle, until the back of the right arm is all the way onto the floor. Right side of the head comes down. You can keep the left hand where it is, or reach the left arm up to the sky. Bend the elbow and bring your hand onto the base of the spine or all the way over to the right thigh. And give yourself a moment here in your twist. Breathe in and breathe out. And then switch it to the other side. Left hand down. Reach the right arm back up towards the sky. Open it up. Right hand down. Switch it to the other side. Left arm up towards the sky. Breathe in, open twist. Exhale, thread the left arm through underneath the right arm. Thread the needle. Left shoulder down. Left side of the head down. Keep the right hand where it is or reach the right arm up to the sky. Maybe bend the elbow. Your choice. Twist. Nice deep breaths. And then slowly release. Right hand forward. Unpeel the left arm. Breathe in. Here comes Finn. Exhale, bring your forearms to the floor. Kick your feet back behind you into a low plank. And for a moment, claw down your fingertips, press down through the forearms and protract your upper back. So dome the upper back and separate the space between the shoulder blades. Retract, drop the chest, wing your shoulder blades. Take it a couple more times. Push the ground away and protract. Dip the chest down, retract. One more time. Inhale, push away. Exhale, drop. Now start to lower the hips down. Keep the forearms where they are, point the toes. Sphinx pose. Elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Of course, you can adjust your hands. Give yourself a moment here. This might be a little bit too much if anyone's suffering with any pain in their lower spine. If that's the case, walk the hands a bit further forward. So the ribs kind of drop onto the floor. And you can look over one shoulder and then the other. And think about all those little details, where the chin is. Drop it down slightly, push the head back, how broad the collarbones can be. And then when you're ready, place one hand on top of the other and lower your forehead down. Shake your hips from side to side. So there's a little flow with a focus on posture. We need that mobility in the spine, but we need just as much stability. Work on your core strength and pull back if you need to. And slide your hands under your shoulders and sit back on your heels. This time, untuck your toes. So no toe squat. Take a moment here, sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back. Close the eyes. Notice the spine. Notice the chin, the head, the muscles in the face. And take a final big breath in where you are. And a big exhale. Thanks very much for joining. Well done. So really, our posture, it's part of our habit. So if there's little things that we need to change, then it'll take a bit of time to change it, but it's more about awareness, catching yourself out when you're falling into your habits. or making small changes like the shoes that we wear, the bags that we wear, the way that we sit, how long we sit down for, how we work, all little changes. And by the end of it, all these small changes lead to big changes. So thanks for joining. I hope you're feeling nice and open in your upper body, but also really strong. Remember, it's a balance between the two. Check out my other flows. They really do complement each other. And thanks for joining again. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe, and tell everyone you know to also do the same. All the best, guys. Thank you for joining.